what you do is you lay a flashlight flat on the ground like this, and you roll it across the floor in the dark, and you can see every little tiny thing on the floor. Alright, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video on the Connor Wastegate YouTube channel. It's been a while for vlogging. This feels weird being in front of a camera. Not really. It's okay. You guys are my buddies. It's cool. Been really busy with work lately. Haven't really had the as much time as I would like to do stuff with the old race car, well, street car, race car, whatever you want to call it. Just been really busy. But I have to pull these off. I have some new diaphragms from Precision. Sai was nice enough to send these over. Thanks a lot, Sai. Appreciate it. The diaphragms that are in here right now are leaking. That one over there I know has a puncture in it from the fitting being screwed in too far. When the diaphragm seated down, it pushed a hole in the diaphragm. So we're gonna just replace both diaphragms, maybe put a little bit of anti-seize on the valve stems, see how they look, and maybe put the high temperature silver anti-seize on there. But we're gonna get started, pull these off the car now, and then do a little bit of rebuild and refresh. They're looking a little bit dingy, a little sad, so we're going to not polish them up, but we're gonna give them some color. They're quite sad looking. We're gonna help them bring back some good color, not doo-doo brown, maybe some shiny gold instead of doo-doo brown color. But we'll get to it here quick. Now, here we go. Time to take this bad boy apart. so here is our sort of cleaned. I mean, I'm gonna do a little bit more cleaning up on stuff like this though, obviously. But when I'm using the wire wheel, I'm just careful I'm not using it on any of the sealing surfaces. Well, like the fire ring and the valve, I'm not cleaning there just because I don't want to interfere with the angles that are on the valve and the sealing surface for this fire ring. I might clean up a little tiny bit here on the bottom of the fire ring, just so that it can help with leaks, stuff like that. And then as well as clean up these V-band screws on both sides of the housing that way. Just so it helps clean up the the mating surfaces just a little bit. But here's a wastegate totally taken apart. The seal looks good. The seal on the valve guide looks good. There's no tears or anything like that in the O-ring. So I'm gonna that should be fine. But what I am gonna do is I have some Permatex nickel anti-seize. This is good to like 2400 degrees or something like that. Short period of time, high temps. I think that the wastegate is really only good to like about that temperature, to like 2000 or 2400 degrees or something like that. I don't remember. So this nickel anti-seize will be fine. Ideally it'd be silver, but I could only get a hold of some nickel today. So I'm gonna put some anti-seize on the valve stem. I think, and that'll kind of help seal up a little bit inside of the valve guide. It'll help kind of seal up a little, and also I noticed that there's just a little tiny bit of wear marks on it, and I'm just gonna, until I can get a new valve and a new valve guide, I'm gonna put just a little tiny bit of anti-seize on this to help it out. This is all the way taken apart. I got this cleaned up. It looks a little bit happier now, not so old. I'm going to start putting this back together though. Put a little bit of anti-seize on this, finish cleaning up some of these parts, and then get it back together. Break time's over. I dropped this little tiny set screw on the floor. At some point, I had no idea that I dropped it until I was putting this back together, and then I was like, okay, where's the set screw? And then I realized it wasn't up here anymore. Yeah, it's about smaller than the size of an apple seed. Johnny had an apple seed or tree or something, I don't know. But I dropped it, and I mean, as you can see, everything on the floor looks like it could be a set screw. It only took me like 45 minutes maybe to find it. I did find it though. It was underneath the car. I did the old, all right, well, hold on, we're gonna do this. I did the old military basic training, how to know if your floor is clean trick, where you, in the dark, what you do is you lay a flashlight flat on the ground like this, and you roll it across the floor in the dark, and you can see every little tiny thing on the floor. That's how I found it, but I did find it. It took forever, so we're good. We'll continue. Okay, so now this is the part that you have to be careful of. You can see this spot right here. This one isn't bad. When I pull the other one apart is when you're gonna really be able to see. I'll clip to that one right now. I'm gonna pull that one apart here in a minute, but here's a clip of it right now. Anyways, that's why it's important to make sure that you don't screw these in too tight, because when this diaphragm comes down, it can press into this and it'll cut a hole, or it'll cut a groove or a moon shape like that inside of your in your diaphragm. So if you're like me and these fittings, or sorry, these threads are a little bit loose, the fitting wants to go in really far and it's cutting into that. So what I do is I have some really thin, I have my thin Teflon tape, and I have my thick Teflon tape. I use some of this thick Teflon tape on those fittings, and that helps those, it helps them not want to go in as far. You can get away with screwing them in less and they'll still hold pressure. So I'm going to use some of this yellow on this bottom one down here. That way the fitting doesn't go in so far. So this is like a real quick, something's not right. You see, this one I've rebuilded. Excuse me, this one I have rebuilt. You can see the fire ring has the spring preload on it like it's supposed to. This one is just sitting here and it does not have the spring preload. It's just, it's sitting all the way up almost. You can see the gap difference between the two. There is a fire ring under this one. The fire ring's right under there, you can see it. It's the exact same fire ring on the exact same wastegate. So right here you can see there's just something isn't right about this wastegate. It kind of needs to be rebuilt. So hopefully by the time we're done rebuilding it, we'll have sorted that issue out. As you can see here, we have, look at this now. There is the valve preload on the fire ring. It was the same after a rebuild. So they were definitely due for a rebuild. Whether the valves were sticking or they were getting hung up on something, I don't know. But so a little bit of Permatex, high temperature, at least nickel, preferably silver anti-seize on the wastegates. I just hit a wire wheel to clean them up. You guys saw they were like a doo-doo brown color. Now they're a nice silver color again, nice stainless steel color. Both of them have the preload that they're supposed to have on the fire ring. They're both of the valve stems got just a tiny little bit of anti-seize on them, just enough to coat the valve shafts. And these are ready to go back in. I'm gonna get these thrown back on the car. I'm sure you guys know how to put wastegates on, so I'm not gonna bother you with that. But thanks for watching. Like always, comment, like, subscribe, and we'll see you guys on the next video.